You know the feeling, right? That late-night scroll that somehow ends with a package at your door that you don't even remember ordering. It's the impulse buy, and it is quietly draining bank accounts everywhere. But what if there was a simple, powerful rule to take back control? Well, today we're going to break it down.
Yeah, it's 11 p.m. You're scrolling, maybe a little bored, and suddenly you see it. The thing you are now absolutely convinced you cannot live without. In that exact moment, it doesn't even feel like a choice, does it? It feels like an urgent mission. So why is that feeling so powerful? That's the real question. And the answer isn't that you lack willpower. Turns out there's some pretty fascinating science at play here, and if you understand it, you can beat it. Okay, so let's start by putting a real price tag on this feeling. Because those late-night clicks, those little treat-yourself moments, well, they add up to a pretty staggering amount of money. Here it is. Get ready for this. $3,381. According to our source, that's what the average American spends every single year just on impulse purchases. Just let that sink in for a second. Over $3,000, poof, gone.
And here is the absolute key to all of this. This is not a personal failing. This isn't because you're bad with money. Our brains are literally hardwired with certain biases that retailers, by the way, know exactly how to exploit. It's a feature of our psychology, not a bug. So let's actually peek under the hood and get into that brain wiring. Because understanding the science here is kind of like getting the cheat codes for your own brain. And there's one principle in particular that explains almost everything about that buy now button. It's called prospect theory. Now, that sounds complicated, but the idea is super simple. We hate losing way more than we love winning. That limited time offer or that only 2 left in stock message. That's not just a sales tactic. It's a direct attack on our deep-seated fear of missing out. The pain of losing the deal feels way worse than the joy of saving the money.
This illustrates it perfectly. Think about it. The emotional gut punch of losing a $20 bill is so much stronger than the mild little thrill of finding 20 bucks on the street. And that emotional imbalance, that's exactly what drives that urgent feeling to buy before a deal gets away.
Okay, so if our brains are basically set up to fall for this trap, what in the world are we supposed to do? We can't just rewire ourselves, right? No, but we can introduce a system, a simple trick that works with our psychology instead of fighting against it. And this brings us to the hero of our story. The 72-hour rule is an incredibly simple, just brilliant strategy to create a little bit of space, a buffer between that emotional impulse and a financial decision.
And here's how easy it is. Step 1. You feel the urge to buy. Don't fight it, just notice it. Ah, there's that feeling. Step 2, instead of putting it in your cart, just add it to a wish list or, hey, take a screenshot. Step 3, do absolutely nothing for 72 hours. That's it. You're just giving your brain's emotional side time to chill out. And the results are just, wow. After that 3-day cooling off period, a whopping 60 to 70% of those must-have items are never even purchased. The emotional fever breaks, logic takes over, and that urgent want reveals itself for what it was, something you didn't really need at all.
All right, now let's connect this small habit back to the really big picture. Because every single time you use this rule, you're not just avoiding one little purchase. You are making a decision with potentially life-changing financial consequences.
So let's just follow the chain here. We start with the impulse, that late-night click. We know the average annual cost is over $3,000. So the real question is, what's the long-term potential? What could that money become if you redirected it instead of spending it?
This, my friends, is the magic of compounding. That $3,400 a year doesn't just sit there. If you invest it, it starts to earn its own money, and then that money starts to earn money. It's like starting a tiny snowball at the top of a very, very long hill. And here is the truly incredible part. Over 25 years, that average annual impulse spend, if invested, could grow to roughly $180,000. I'm going to say it again, $180,000. That is the potential long-term price tag of those fleeting, in-the-moment buys.
So really, that's the choice, isn't it? Every time you face that buy now button, the choice isn't just about that one item. It's a choice between a short-term, fleeting little dopamine hit and a long-term, tangible piece of your own financial security.
And that really is the final question we want to leave you with. When you really think about your own habits, what could that number be for you? The 72-hour rule gives you the power to find out, and even more importantly, the power to choose a different outcome.